If you were driving at 70 miles per hour, it would take you approximately 15 days to drive around the equator, 5 months to drive to the moon, 63 years to drive to Mars at its closest point, and 4,400 years to drive to Neptune. The scale of the solar system is mind-boggling. Hello and welcome to ZE. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. In 1977, we launched the probe Voyager 1 into space at a speed of 38,000 miles per hour. It didn't leave the solar system until 2012. That's traveling at 38,000 miles per hour for 35 years just to exit the solar system. Even light, which can circle the planet 7 times in 1 second, seems slow when compared to the vastness of the solar system. We are zooming out at about 500 times the speed of light. Usually, it would take light from our sun about 8 hours to get this far, and we did it in about 1 minute. The solar system is incredibly huge. While the solar system is enormous, it's just a speck compared to the Milky Way galaxy. The Milky Way galaxy has around 300 billion stars, many of which have their own planets orbiting them. Our closest neighboring star system, Alpha Centauri, is 4.3 light-years away. I previously demonstrated this example, but it's worth repeating because it illustrates these distances well. If our solar system out to Neptune's orbit was shrunk to the size of a US quarter, how far away do you think the next star system, Alpha Centauri, would be? Take a guess. If the solar system was shrunk to the size of this quarter, the next star system would be 300 feet away. Earlier, I mentioned it would take 4,400 years to drive to Neptune. Now imagine how long it would take to drive to the next star. Even something traveling as fast as Voyager, 38,000 miles per hour, would take 77,000 years to reach it. The next star system is incredibly far away. Here is Alpha Centauri, and we'll use this orange sphere, representing the theoretical Oort cloud, to show the extent of our solar system. The Oort cloud is a massive spherical cloud surrounding our planetary system and extending approximately 1 light-year from the Sun. It's 1,000 or 2,000 times larger than Neptune's orbit. For those wondering, this is how far Voyager has traveled. Let's continue our journey. That's Betelgeuse, a star 640 light-years away and 1,000 times larger than our Sun. We'll come back to Betelgeuse in a moment. As we continue zooming out, you'll see the radiosphere. This is how far our earliest radio transmissions have traveled over the last 100 years or so. Our radio transmissions, although now highly degraded, have reached about 15,000 star systems, just 1/20,000th of the stars in the Milky Way. And there is Betelgeuse again. If you look at Betelgeuse in the night sky tonight, the light you'd see left its surface about 100 years before Columbus sailed for the New World. It's been traveling that long at the speed of light and is just now reaching our planet. What's even more astounding is that, in universal terms, Betelgeuse is fairly local. And to blow your mind even more, our radiosphere is just a tiny blip in the Milky Way. Let's take that quarter analogy from earlier to the next level. If our solar system was again shrunk to the size of a US quarter, the entire Milky Way galaxy would be about the size of North America. And there would be another 300 billion quarters, representing other star systems and their planets. Imagine that for a moment. Quarters spread out all over North America, approximately every 300 feet in all directions. We are just one of these 300 billion quarters floating around in this massive sea of stars and planets. Beyond our galaxy, there are at least 1 trillion more galaxies. 1 trillion is a massive number. That's 1 million a million times. Let's simplify that. Imagine you have a group of 1,000 cats, and there are 1,000 such groups. So, 1,000 groups of cats, each with 1,000 cats. That's 1 million cats. Now, for 1 trillion, each cat in that group of 1 million would represent another 1 million cats. That's a lot of cats. 1 trillion is 1 million a million times. It's an insanely large number. This cat would represent 1 million cats, and this cat another million cats. Every cat here represents 1 million cats. That's how many galaxies are out there. Our nearest neighboring galaxy is the Andromeda Galaxy, which is 2.5 million light-years away and is currently speeding toward us at over 670,000 miles per hour. As it gets closer, our night sky will change dramatically. Andromeda has about 1 trillion stars, and when it collides with the Milky Way and its 300 billion stars, it's highly unlikely that even a single star from either galaxy will collide with one another. This may come as a surprise, but it illustrates the vast spaces between stars in the galaxy. It's more of a gravitational collision than a physical one. Perhaps these galactic collisions enable life to travel between stars and galaxies. Galaxies are not static systems. They are dynamic, moving entities. As we zoom out, we see our local group of galaxies, then the Virgo cluster, which consists of over 1,500 galaxies. Next, the Virgo supercluster, containing some 20,000 galaxies. But this is just a small part of an even bigger supercluster, Laniakea, which includes around 100,000 galaxies. 100,000 galaxies, each with hundreds of billions of their own stars and planets. There are another 10 million superclusters like Laniakea in the observable universe. As we continue zooming out, you'll see more and more galaxies that have been mapped out. These are real galaxies and their locations, and this is just a tiny fraction of what's actually out there. Hundreds of billions more galaxies that haven't been mapped yet. The dark area is called the void of obscuration. These regions are obscured from observation by dust and other stars within our own Milky Way galaxy. As the distance increases, the black area, or the obscured portion, widens. The red points are also galaxies. The light from these galaxies has taken so long to travel to Earth that we are seeing them as they were billions of years ago. We are seeing billions of years into the past. In fact, anytime you look at the stars, you're seeing into the past. Finally, we reach the cosmic background radiation. This is the oldest light we can detect, the residual heat left from the Big Bang. What lies beyond the observable universe? Many more galaxies exist beyond what we can see. We can't see them because their light hasn't had enough time to reach Earth. Additionally, as space continues to expand and galaxies keep moving away from us, the light from most of these very distant galaxies will never reach us. These areas may forever remain out of our reach. How much further does the universe extend? Based on current scientific understanding, the entire universe is at least 250 times larger than the observable universe. It's at least that much bigger, and there are compelling arguments that it's even larger and possibly infinite. There's a bigger picture here. What is the universe? What are we? After watching this video, you might think, I'm a tiny, separate thing on a distant planet in the middle of nowhere. I'll live for several decades and then die, and that will be that. Wow, I'm a part of this unimaginably large, possibly infinite universe that is potentially teeming with life. A part of this thing that I don't really understand. A thing that, well, no one truly understands. A part of this planet, a part of this node in the sea of space that is coming to life. And things can get very metaphysical after that. Within our current scientific understanding, it's easy to feel alone in the universe. We believe that we are separate beings floating on a tiny rock in a vast and seemingly dead universe. This is an old and outdated paradigm that needs to be updated. We need to re-examine a few key assumptions and learn to let go of these old beliefs for ourselves and for humanity. I'll cover these key assumptions in future videos, but to give you a sneak peek. First, the idea that you are somehow separate from the universe needs to be obliterated. We are taught that we are individuals separate from the world out there. Of course, with assumptions and beliefs like that, you will feel like a lost soul, but it doesn't have to be that way. Although we feel that we are independent creatures roaming around, we're not really separate. We're not independent of the world we live in. We are in an intimate, inseparable, symbiotic relationship with the world. Humans and nature are one and the same. We are actually a part of it, a piece of the whole. The universe is not outside of you. You are in it. You're a function of the universe in the same way that one of your skin cells is a function of your whole body. We are an aspect of the universe, so it doesn't make any sense to set yourself apart and say you're an isolated object surrounded by a vast, alien entity. You grew from that entity, and you're inseparable from it. If you ever feel lost, remember that you and the universe are one. There is no separation. Thank you for watching and see you next time.